we are going to see about how to create arrays in MATLAB. So first of all, array is a collection of data. So array is a fundamental form that are used in MATLAB. That the array is used to store and manipulate data. So in MATLAB, there are two types of array: one-dimensional and multi-dimensional array. So one-dimensional array is represented as a vector, and multi-dimensional array is represented as a matrix. In array is a list of numbers arranged in rows or columns. So the one-dimensional array is one row or one column. So the more complex array is called as a two-dimensional or multi-dimensional array. It is a collection of numbers arranged in rows and columns. In science and various engineering applications, the one-dimensional arrays frequently represent vectors, and two-dimensional arrays represent as matrices. So creating one-dimensional array is also represented as a vector. So one-dimensional array is a list of numbers is arranged in row or a column. Here is the example for here is one row of data is given for a year and another row of data is given for population. So in MATLAB, the vector is created, that is the one-dimensional array is created by assigning the element of vector to the variable. This can be done in several ways depending on the source of information that is used for the elements of vector. So this is the first one. Creating vector from the now list of numbers. So the vector is created by typing the elements that are numbers, typing the numbers inside the square bracket. So this is a syntax for creating vector. So variable name is equal to type vector elements, that means numbers. So there are two type of vector, row vector and column vector. So to create row vector type elements with the space or comma between the elements inside the square bracket. For column vectors, inside the square bracket, the semicolon or the space between presents in the elements. So and second one is creating the vector with constant spacing by specifying the first term and spacing and the last term. So in the vector with the constant spacing, the difference between the elements is the same. For example, the vector is the one-dimensional array 2, 4, 6, 8, and the spacing between element is 2. So 2 plus 2, 4, and 4 plus 2, 6, and 6 plus 2, 8, and 8 plus 2, 10, like this. So in the vector in which first term is m and last term and space is q and the last term is n. Here 2 is the first term and 10 is the last term, that is n, and the spacing is q, that is 2. So this is a syntax. Variable name is equal to m colon q colon n. So m is the first element, n is the last element, and q is a spacing element. So our variable name is equal to we can also write without square bracket. So this is an example for creating one-dimensional vector, row vector and column vector. So here, so x equal to 1, 2 and 13. The spacing is 2 and 1 is the first element and 13 is the second element. So we have to start, in this command, the output is start with 1 and end with 30 and in between the space is 2. And second one is, second example is the spacing is 0.1. So this is a example for creating vector. So if the number m, q and n or such a value cannot obtain by adding q to m. So the last element in the vector will be the last number that does not exceed n. So if only two numbers are typed, then the default for spacing is 1. So we have to give only give a first element and last element, that is m and n. The spacing, default spacing value is 1. So creating vector with linear or equal spacing by specifying. Third one is creating vector with equal spacing by specifying the first, last term and number of terms. So here's the vector with n elements that are linearly spaced with the first element and the last element. So here is the syntax. Variable name is equal to linspace. Linspace is a command used for apply to the element for linear space. So x is the first element and xf is the last element. So என்ன சார் linear space or the space element. So here's the example. So va equal variable name is equal to linspace command of 0, 8, 6. So here n is how many elements in the vector. So 6 elements. First element 0 and 8 is the last element. So the space is automatically it's equal in linear equally spaced. So the linearly spaced between the elements. So this is these are the methods to create the one dimensional array, and creating two dimensional array, that is called matrices. So already we know the matrices is also that two dimensional array. It's a numbers elements, collection of numbers and elements in rows and columns. So matrices used to store information like the arrangement in table format, and it plays an important role in linear algebra and used in science and engineering applications to describe many physical quantities. So here we have two types of matrices, m cross m and m cross n. So like m cross n means 3 cross 3, so 3 rows and 3 columns. So in a square matrix, the number of rows and the number of columns is equal, that is m cross m matrix. So this is a m cross m matrix. So 3 rows and 3 columns present in the matrix. And this is a m cross n matrix. So various number of columns and various number of rows. Here 4 number of rows and 6 number of columns, that is m cross n matrix. So the matrix is created by assigning the element of matrix to the variable. This is done by typing the elements row by row inside the square bracket. So this is a syntax. Variable name is equal to first row element, semicolon, and second row element and third row element, etc. N number of row we can add it. So the elements that are entered can be numbers or mathematical expression or predefined variable and functions. And all row must have the same number of elements. So the MATLAB display the error message if the attempt is made to define the incomplete. We have to we are defined the incomplete matrix. It's presents a error. So here the example for creating multi-dimensional or two-dimensional array. So a equal to so this is a first row element. 5, 35, 43 is a first row element. Semicolon, and next 3 is a second row element, and next 3 is a third row element. So this is an example. This is another example. So this is a 3 cross 3 matrix, and second b equal to, this is a 3 rows and 5 columns are present. So m cross n matrix example. So we already saw that we can't only give numbers, we also give predefined variables, mathematical expressions and numbers. So this is an example for we give a mathematical expression. So rows of matrix can also entered as vectors using the notation for creating vectors with constant spacing or the linspace command. So here also in matrix creation, here also we can use the linspace command. So this is an example for using linspace command in two-dimensional array creation. So next, the zeros, ones and I commands. So 0 and 1 I commands are used to create matrix that have the elements with special value. That is 0 means create the 0 value and 1s create the 1's value. It's used to create matrix with m rows and n column, which all elements are numbers 0s and 1 respectively. So in zeros and we have to use in zeros and 1 and I command in matrix. The only numbers are zeros and 1. Other than numbers are not present in the matrix. So the I commands create the square matrix with n row and n column in which the diagonal elements are equal to 1 and rest of the elements are 0. This is called the identity matrix. So the I command used to create the identity matrix. So what is identity matrix? In identity matrix, except the diagonal elements, other elements are 0 and the diagonal elements are 1. So here the example for use zeros, ones and I comments. For zeros command, the display is all elements are 0, and for one command all elements are 1. For I command, only the diagonal elements are 1, other elements are 0. So the matrix can also be created as a result of mathematical operation with vector and matrix. Thank you.